One Osing tourism village is located in Kemiran Village, Glaga district in Banyuwangi Regency. The inhabitants of this village are a group of people who have unique customs and culture as one tribe, known as the Osing tribe. The government established it as a cultural heritage area and developed it as a tourism village tribe using Osing.
Entering Kemiran Village really feels like you are in a place that should be enjoyed as a new experience. Building houses lined and close together in a densely populated residential complex along the road welcomes tourists before arriving at the recreation area. Not far from the residential area, there are rice fields and green trees that shade the village road. The people of Kemiran Village are farmers, only a small proportion of them are traders.
In farming, the people of Kemiran hold a tradition of salvation since planting seeds. When the rice begins to harvest, when the harvest time arrives, farmers use ani accompanied by the beats of the angklung and drums that are played on the rice fields. When pounding rice, the women play the gedhagan tradition, which is hitting the mortar and pestle to make a pleasant sound. That is the daily life of the Osing people, which encourages the local government to establish it as a cultural heritage and a tourist village. After being designated as the Osing Tourism Village, in 1995 the Regent Purnomo Sidik built a tourist platform located in the north of the village. The pavilion, which stands on 2.5 hectares of land, was built at a cost of Rp. 4 billion. This pavilion is conceptualized to present miniatures of Osing typical houses, display local art, and exhibit cultural products. In the recreation area, tourist facilities are built such as a swimming pool, a playground, and of course there are typical houses of the Osing community and a modern museum building that houses various Osing cultural equipment and trinkets. Enough with Rp. 5,000 for the entrance ticket. Tourists can enjoy recreational facilities as much as they like.
The position of Kemiran Village is very strategic towards Ijen crater tourism. This village has an area of 117,052 square m extending to 3 km, which is bordered by two rivers, Guling and Sobo, which flow from west to east. In the middle there is a 5 m wide asphalt road that connects the village to the town of Banyuwangi on the east side and the Tamanshuru bathhouse and to the Calabendo plantation in the west. During the day, especially on holidays, the road that divides the village of Kemiran is quite busy with public and private transportation leading to the Tamanshuru bathhouse, Calabendo plantation and to the tourist sites of the Osing village.
Head of the Culture and Tourism Office of the district, Banyuwangi Suprayogi, said the Regency government is committed to improving tourism supporting facilities and infrastructure, including human resources. If Banyuwangi as the heart of the eastern tip has beaten, other sectors will benefit from it, including the surrounding area, he said. One of the efforts that has been made is to bring together Balinese and Banyuwangi entrepreneurs in a gathering night in Bali, with the hope of increasing tourist visits to Banyuwangi. In addition, we are also working with the East Java provincial government for the Mass through the Majapahit Travel Fair, which will take place in May. History of the Osing Society. The village, which is at an altitude of 144 meters above sea level, which is included in the low topography with rainfall of 2,000 mm per year, so that it has an average air temperature ranging from 22 to 26 degrees Celsius, is indeed quite pleasant and interesting in terms of air temperature and scenery, for travel. Observing the shape of the houses in Kamiran seems the same, however, if you look closely, there are differences in the roofs of the houses which in fact indicate the status of the occupants. The house with 4 roofs, called Tikal Balung, symbolizes that the occupants are stable. A 2-roofed Krokagan house means that the occupants are a young family or family whose economy is relatively low, and a 3-roofed Barazan house, which symbolizes that the owner is already established, is literally under the form of a Tikal Balung house. Observing the shape of the houses in Kamiran seems the same, however, if you look closely, there are differences in the roofs of the houses which in fact indicate the status of the occupants. The house with 4 roofs, called Tikal Balung, symbolizes that the occupants are stable. A 2-roofed Krokagan house means that the occupants are a young family or family whose economy is relatively low, and a 3-roofed Barazan house, which symbolizes that the owner is already established, is literally under the form of a Tikal Balung house. Historically, the Osing tribe is like the Tengur tribe, which is a community loyal to the king of Majapahit who escaped when the kingdom was attacked and collapsed around 1478 AD. Some stopped at the Tengur Mountains, now a Tengur tribe community, in Probolinggo, and some continued their journey until to the eastern tip of Java Island, Banyuwangi.
There are also the Osing people who are the remaining Blambangan people. This descendant of the Hindu Blambangan kingdom is different from other communities Javanese, Madurs and Balinese when viewed from their cultural and linguistic customs. Kamiran village was born during the Dutch colonial era, in the 1830s. Initially, this village was just a stretch of rice fields and forests belonging to the people of Kungking village who were the forerunners of the Osing people. Until now the group continues to cross the Strait Bali. This group of people who exiled themselves to the eastern tip of Java then founded the Blambangan kingdom in Banyuwangi, which was characterized by Hindu Buddhism like the Majapahit kingdom. The Blambangan kingdom ruled for 200 years before falling into the hands of the Islamic Mataram kingdom in 1743 AD.
Kungking village also still exists. It is located about 5 kilometers east of Kamiran village. It's just that, currently Kungking village has become a city village. At that time, the Kungking people chose to hide in the fields to avoid the Dutch army. The residents are reluctant to return to their home village in Kungking. Then the forest was cleared to become a village. This forest is covered with candlenut and durian trees, so from that this village is called Kamiran. The first time this village was led by a village head named Wallach. It is said that he was one of the noble descendants. Like the Tengur tribe, the Osing community in Kamiran is not an exclusive society that closes itself like the Bedouin. On the one hand, they are very open to the progress of the times, as seen in the era of clothing and house architecture today, but on the other hand, they are adamant in carrying out the traditions of their ancestors, from everyday life to sacred things such as marriage. That is what we have summarized in video form. Hopefully this is useful for all of you and our best regards. Thank you very much.